Welcome to Tamara Tattletales. I'm Tamara, and I spill the tea on your favorite reality stars. Married at First Sight Season 14, Boston. The officiant Steve, who married Chris and Alyssa, has been very vocal about the couple he married. He has lit up Twitter with his tweets about the couple, dishing out his own opinions along with a little bit of advice. He is a former city councilor turned justice of the peace, and he was approached by Married at First Sight through email. He originally thought the email was spam, but then after some back and forth, the name of the show was revealed to him. He's never seen the show before, and of course, he didn't meet Chris and Alyssa until they walked down the aisle. So I'm going to share his tweets with you, plus portions of an interview I found of him talking about his experience on the show and first impressions of Chris and Alyssa. Let's get to the tweets. So it looks like he was tweeting during the show last Wednesday. He starts off with, "Looks fade, but a good heart doesn't. We live in such an appearance-focused society that we can easily forget about the value that lies beyond someone's looks." Chris is correct. Talking with him at the altar, he was truly excited to meet his wife and begin a new chapter in his life. "Sorry, Alyssa, never judge a book by its cover. A big heart comes a long way." Alyssa doesn't define what marriage is all about. It is perhaps the greatest and most challenging adventure in a relationship. It takes work and patience. She needs to give it a chance and listen to him. People give up too easy. When I married Chris and Alyssa on Married at First Sight, I truly thought this might be it. But always remember, Alyssa, teeth can be fixed, a cold heart cannot. And then someone replies to this tweet and says, "Dude, you didn't have to sign an NDA?" And Steve says, "I have no idea if they work out or not. I just pronounced them, but clearly this episode doesn't look promising." Then he retweeted this article and captions it, "There really is more to being attractive than how someone looks. Everyone has great and beautiful features. Sometimes you need to experience something that doesn't work for you in order to realize what you're really looking for." If one thing is for sure, no ceremony can ever create your marriage. Only you can do that. Marriage involves adapting to life's challenges, helping each other grow, appreciating differences, and learning to forgive, and not looking for perfection in each other.
I think Chris and Alyssa have more things in common than they think. But Alyssa has to listen and give Chris a chance. And Alyssa, as everyone saw, she read the letter that Chris wrote to her before she walked down the aisle, and she was very teary-eyed, very emotional, happy. So she was going through all the great emotions that any couple goes through on their wedding day. So she felt something there. I'm not sure what happened when she walked down the aisle and she saw Chris, but again, never judge a book by its cover. And I think she just has to give Chris a chance, and maybe she will in the next episode. And I think that they could work, but both actually are really nice people. I think I really talked to Chris more at the altar with him on that day. Didn't really talk too much with Alyssa at all, but Chris, I can tell you this, was really excited and really looking for love and a wife. So I'm really rooting for them. Yeah, it's, on my specific role, it really is just one day. I mean, I have a very easy job. I just have to marry the couple. So, but in regards to, there was no prepping or anything like that. Casting was great. They kind of just let me roll with it. And, I am a professional, so I know what I'm doing because I've married hundreds and hundreds of people. So they really were really, really good. And, probably the most awkward moment of taping was when I walked out. Very awkward coming out and seeing the families meet for the first time, meeting me as well. And that's another thing, as I mentioned, families who are at the ceremony are meeting for the first time, right? The moms, the grandparents, the friends, and everyone else. So a lot of awkwardness. When I was up there, I honestly and truthfully felt like it was a real ceremony. I was marrying a couple, and I thought nothing different when I was up there, other than kind of looking at both of their faces, because I was curious, like everyone else, how he felt about her, how she felt about him. And obviously no words were mentioned, but you try to look at their facial reactions and try to see if they really are happy. And it looked like when I was up there and everyone else who was watching at home, Chris was really happy. And as I learned, Alyssa was crying up there, but I thought, to me personally, I thought it was just tears of being nervous, joy, because she also cried when she read the letter from Chris before the ceremony. So I thought she was just really, really emotional and happy. But it seemed by watching last night, like everyone else, I think she was crying because this was probably a very big mistake, that she thought that this was not going to be like any other ceremony. I leave after the ceremony. I do not stay for the reception or anything like that. Like I said, they let me just do my job, which I'm very appreciative, because I always tell couples, just let me do my thing and I promise you'll have a great ceremony. And that's what the casting did. And they really just wanted me to make sure that I make the couple very comfortable up there, because it is very nerve-wracking. Well, when you get married, it's always nerve-wracking. But like I said, in this case, it was very nerve-wracking for the families and for the couple. And I just needed to get them to the finish line. So that's what I did for Chris and Alyssa. I got them to the finish line. Now we just have to watch to see if they make it to the real finish line.